Do you ever talk to anybody, like say in the almond business or the pistachio business, and try to explain this system to them?
Absolutely. Or in any business.
What do they say?
They said, that's unbelievable. That's bull.
Every time I try to explain it to somebody, I get the same reaction. They're all, you have to do what?
Yeah, what industry does that? If you're a dairyman and your dad might have a little bit of quota, well, is he paying your assessment? I mean, it's funny how you can't talk about it. You go in a room with your dad or your cousin or your brother that has quota, and it's okay not to talk about it and everything's good. But the second you start talking about quota, they get offended because you don't want to pay into the quota, the QIP program anymore.
That whole gatekeeper thing, you know, the young people starting out need to pay
their dues.
Yes.
Per se.
Yeah, it's just not fair to a young person starting out.
No, and let alone anybody.
No.
That's not a huge quota holder, right? I mean, I think people need to realize there's a lot of people that think they've got 40% quota and they're safe. Well, at the end of the day, eventually they're not safe either, because it's going to be the guys that are 40 and above that when dairymen leave this state, well, they're going to be putting 60 cents in and getting 50 cents out and so on down the line. And if you got 40% quota, you're not going to compete with that guy that's got 70%. Eventually, he's taking you down.
What is your response to people when they say, well, everybody has the option to go buy it. We did, just buy it.
Well, there's not enough quota to go around. Only 23% of the milk in the state is covered by quota.
And I would add it requires a belief in its long-term viability too, right?
Yeah.
You have to believe it's something tangible, long-term, and viable, and I do not have that belief.
Right. Well,
it has no function.
Other than just to take money from some dairymen to give to others.
Yes, tax permit.
Right. And you look at a quota certificate, there is no value. You can't find a value on it. It was never meant to be traded. When in the inception of quota, it wasn't meant to be traded amongst dairymen.
Right.
So another thing too, you know, people talk about, well, it's always been coming out of your check. Well, most of us knew it was coming out of our check. We just didn't know how much. Now that it's on our check, we see, oh, it's 40 cents. Well, that's a lot. I personally, I knew, but I didn't realize it was that much. So I think that's what's, you know, getting people's concerns up too. We can't just keep giving 40 cents. A few people that have quota forever. We can't compete with them that way.
And I would say that we're 25 years too late doing something about it.
100%.
Having it on the check certainly makes it easier to get something done, because we get a reminder every 2 weeks of how
we're getting taxed.
Unjust
right.
The system is.
Right.
So it never leaves your mind for too long.
Right. And I remember when they made that spread fixed, I remember my dad fighting tooth and nails against that. He didn't like anything about it, and it wasn't done by a vote.
It was done by the state
legislature. By a state legislature. But, people talk about a unified industry. Well, it really hasn't been unified since 1994, because there's a group of dairymen that just thought that was unfair and unjust, just to fix a spread like that. And so we haven't been unified for 25 plus years.
We have a class 1 sales problem.
Right, big time.
We can't just continue to make that difference up by taking it from the manufacturing markets and giving it away as class 1 premiums. We just simply cannot keep doing that.
No, it puts us all at an uncompetitive edge with the guys that have quota, let alone the rest of the guys in the country.
If we lived in Nevada, any other state, we don't have to pay this tax. It's simply a California thing of the past.
Right.
That no longer pertains to anything today.
Right. Except for taking from some dairymen, giving to other dairymen. That's all it is.
Yep.
And it's not right. We all do the same thing, We all get up in the morning and go to work. We all milk cows. We all have employees. We all have equipment. But the non-quota holders have to give that tax to the quota holders.
What other industry has anything like this? You know?
Right.
It's a bullshit system.
It's, you know, it's just amazing. They can't even fathom what we're doing.
Right.
And they're like, you guys are pitting dairymen against dairymen? Are you kidding me? Isn't that business hard enough?
They can't understand it. They're all, you have to do what?
Yeah.
Yep, that's what we have
That's
to
what we do. Yep. It's been 25 years now. That's what we do.
Yep.